Good morning everyone, I am Animalo Alcamentres, and for today we will gonna tackle about Unit 1, Understanding Basic Concept, Definitions, Uses, Elements, and Purpose. Let's have first the learning outcome. First, it demonstrates knowledge and understanding of the overview of the basic concepts in special education. Second, it demonstrates understanding of the theories of development and their application in an inclusive classroom. Third, it describes the various issues related to diversity of learners and utilizes a variety of classroom instructional strategies to address the needs of the diverse learner in the classroom. So, overview. Education is important to all Filipinos, including those children who need special attention. It is quite true because just like what Nelson Mandela said, that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And special education is designed and delivered for teaching and learning strategies for individuals with disabilities. And according to Farrell 2009, he defined special education as an extensive provision including education for learners with disabilities. And when we talk about distinctive provision, it is a characteristic that supply or provide the needs of special persons or those persons with disability in terms of education. Introduction. Special education is the design and delivery of teaching and learning strategies for individuals with disabilities or learning difficulties that may or may not be enrolled in regular school. So, special education is made for those people na may mga special needs. Just like for example, yung mga deaf, mga blind, mute, mayroong physical disabilities just like isa lang yung leg, isa lang yung arms, or doesn't have the leg or the arms at all. It is also designed for those people na mayroong mga emotional disorder or those people na mayroong speech or language disabilities. Special education is made for them to be able to learn well just like how normal people do. In the Philippines, inclusion of students with disabilities in regular school is a controversial issue because not all people are aware of how to manage children with special needs. So it is very true because some of the Filipino, meron tayong mindset na whenever makakakita tayo ng mga taong may special need, we will gonna say na abnormal yan, ganyan, or anything na ma-utter ng mga bibig natin. But without even knowing na they are also people na like us. They only need acceptance in the society na even if they are like that, they can still pwede po rin silang makipaghalubilo sa mga normal na people, and special education is made for them para matutukan talaga sila ng maayos. That's why merong mga SPED school for them to do whatever they wanted to do without discrimination. The 21st century teacher must be equipped with strategies and techniques in dealing with these kinds of learner. It is important that all teachers in the country develop useful and effective special educational skills so that they can ensure that all students will learn effectively and efficiently. So, to the future teachers, they need to be more knowledgeable in dealing not only with normal people but also to those people na mayroong special needs for them to be able to learn effective and efficiently.
I'm Jivito Kyle H. Plaza. My report elements special education. According to exceptional special education program and practice at California Charter is called, there are 9 elements of successful special education programs, namely number 1, philosophy of inclusion, number 2, individual of programs, number 3, supportive school community, number 4, shared support system. Number 5, family and community partnership. Number 6, cutting edge technologies and practice. Number 7, flexibility and autonomy. Number 8, staff development. Number 9, constant refinement and improvement of programs. Number 1, philosophy of inclusion. This is includes shared value, universal design for learning, accessible communication and collaboration in order for all students educated in content-rich general education setting. Shared value. Shared value also all school staff have a shared value of inclusion. Universal designs for learning present content in multiple formats, allow students alternatives to demonstrate their learnings, tap into students' interest and motivation for learning a variety of ways, accessible communication, different language, braille, large print multimedia technology, constant collaboration between general and special education teachers and service professionals. Individualization of programs. Children with special needs must enjoy adaptable programs and individual support around students' needs. Create services, not placements. Utilize existing expertise to build specialized system of intervention and support around each student. As special education local plan area or SELPA can provide guidance and assistance with implementing innovation programs. Number 3, support school community. There is a need to have positive learning environment for children at all times. Behavior frameworks will establish values and behavior norms throughout the school in the classroom. Restorative justice, repair relationship rather than punish. Community circle, address school-wide issues, resolve conflict, build trust, address bullying. Multi-tiered support system. This includes team-based data-driven process to support framework for academic behaviors and socio-emotional needs for all types of student. Team BSED. Designated team responsible for students' intervention who consistently meet to review students' data and pull in family, school, and community partners for support. Data-driven. Robust data collection and analyze mechanism that uniform decision making. Increasingly intense shared support that increase intensity in response to needs. The intervention framework is well known as all staff. Number 5. Family and communication partnership. Family, academy, and community partnership are very important to build a strong relationship, a strong learning environment, and develop support networks around their students. University of partnership. Students teaching mentorship program focused on special education. Family partnership. Family partnership is family training on support topics. Home visits connects families to additional support. Transition service into next school. Community partnership. Partnership with community organization that connect facilities to service, including mental service, food shelter, transportation, and it. Cutting edge technologies and practice. Each school must utilize innovation approaches and assistive technologies in delivery of school curriculum. Implement innovation approach. Mindfulness, neurofeedback, assistive communication software, zones of regulation, flexibility, and autonomy. The needs of learners are the topmost priority of school. Secure local education area agency, LEA for special education or LEA-like status. LEA status charter school that have autonomy through LEA or LEA-like status serves as higher percentage and broader range of students and are treated to develop support to meet their needs. Universal self-development. The staff must undergo rigorous professional development training to ensure the general special education teachers and most personnel were ready to meet needs of all students. Universal commitment to coaching and support. Summer trainings, ongoing trainings, professional learning communities, teacher individualized professional development, data professional development, leadership opportunities para professional trainings. Number 9. Constant refinement and improvement of the programs. The school must get goals going refinement and improvement for sustainable special education programs. Common themes. Common themes is observe successful programs, workshop, track outcomes, and growth, streamline support for overlapping need.
Good day, everyone. I am Herling Joy Asruelan, the second reporter of Group 1. For today's discussion, I will discuss to you the definitions of special education. So first, let us define special education. Special education is an individualized education for children with special needs. It is specially designed instruction at no cost given to the parents or guardian to meet the unique needs of a child with disability, including instructions conducted in the classroom, in the home, in hospital, in institutions, and in other settings. The education of a person who have physical, mental, social, or sensory impairment and cultural difference so as to require modifications of the special curricula. The program special services and physical facilities help them to develop their maximum capacity. Next is understanding the different terms in special education. The first term is adapted physical education. It is a program that is designed to fit the learners who require developmental of correlative instructions in PE. It is also the art and science of developing, implementing, and monitoring a carefully designed physical education instructional program for a learner with a disability, based on a comprehensive assessment to give the learner the skills necessary for a lifetime of rich leisure, recreation, and sport experiences to enhance physical fitness and wellness. The second term is acquisition deficit. It refers to the absence of knowledge for executing a particular skill that has never been mastered. It is a type of social skills deficit that stems from a lack of knowledge which a child does not understand a skill and thus cannot master it. Next is adaptive behavior. It is the ability of an individual to demonstrate appropriate personal independence, social responsibility, and environmental awareness for his or her chronological age and cultural group. It is also the set of skills that individuals should be able to perform at a certain age. Part of the assessment for children with special needs is their ability to perform behaviors like social skills, cleaning, personal grooming, and etc. The next term is assistive technology. Any equipment or product system that is used to increase, maintain, or improve the capabilities of or enhance the learning of learners with disabilities. This means that there will be technology to assess the persons with disability that will help them to improve their capabilities. Next is attention deficit disorder, or ADD, an out-of-date term that was previously used to describe children who have difficulty paying attention but are not significantly impulsive or hyperactive. These students may have motor delays, and the teacher needs to work on reinforcing confidence, and positive feedback is the way to do it. For this, teachers can implement a reward system where a student earns reward by meeting a minimum expectation. Next term is autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, a developmental disorder characterized by abnormal or impaired development in social communication skills and restricted and or repetitive patterns of behavior. So by using adaptive physical education, it is important to understand students with disabilities needs, and preferences. It is possible that they can get very nervous and anxious during a physical education class or any class, so they need to be introduced into that environment with care. Students with disabilities can also be introduced to the setting beforehand to reduce anxiety. Next term is intellectual disability, or ID. Replaces the terms mental retardation. Mental retardation means significantly below average general intellectual functioning existing concurrently with deficit in adaptive behavior and manifested during the developmental period that negatively impacts a child's educational performance. The primary change needed while teaching students with intellectual disabilities is to use shorter sentences, use less verbal instructions, and more of gestures and demonstrations. The next term is disability, an inability or incapacity to perform a task or activity in a normative manner. This can be connected to persons with disabilities that has long-term physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairment, which, in interaction with barriers, hinders his full and effective participation in society equally with others. Next term is hearing impairment. An impairment is an impairment in hearing, whether in permanent or fluctuating that adversely affect a child's education performance. For these people, it is important to communicate using his or her preferred means of communication. Incorporate visual aids with easy to comprehend images while instructing. Repeat comments and make sure that the student has understood the instruction by getting him or her to repeat the action. Next is speech language impairment, or SLI. A communication disorder such as stuttering, impaired articulation, a language impairment, or a voice impairment that negatively impacts a student's educational performance. This refers to problems in communication and related areas such as oral motor function. These delays and disorders range from simple sound substitutions to the inability to understand or use language or use the oral motor mechanism for functional speech and feeding. Next is reading comprehension. It is the ability to understand what one has read. It is the ability to process text, understand its meaning, and to integrate with what the reader already knows. And lastly, receptive language. Receiving and understanding spoken or written communication. Receptive language skills include listening and reading. It refers to how your child understands language. Expressive language refers to how your child uses words to express himself or herself. Young children with language difficulties may have difficulty interacting with other children.
Good day everyone, I'm Carlos John Camaging, a first-year college student taking course PE and Bachelor of Elementary Education. So good day everyone, first of all, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity to present my PPT to all of you. So, but before we start our topic on this morning, I have one question. Kung sa'yo nakita sa screen or sa monitor, anyone ba sige gusto mag-volunteer? Yes sir, how about you? That's correct. You? That's correct. All of your answers are correct. So, as you can see on the screen, it shows that person has a disability or special needs. So, as a teacher, we need to take care of our student, to teach, to care, love, guide, and support. Also, as a teacher, we need to be patient and calm. So, good day everyone. So, our topic for today is all about what is inclusive education. So, inclusive education is a learning environment where children with and without disabilities are taught together as equals. So, meaning, for example, is that na school for SPED and diri sa SPED is na ay mga estudyante nga na special need or na mga disabilities like deaf, Down syndrome, blindness, mga pilay, and so on. With or without disabilities are taught together as equal. Dapat equal ang education and learning na ginatudlo sa ato. So, as a teacher, we need to treat the student fairly so that dili ka maging biased, and also as a teacher, we need to be patient, calm, and love our student and care and guide. So next is a common learning environment is not a place where students with intellectual disabilities or special needs learn in isolation from their peers. So, for example, a common learning environment like school, ADO, Mapua, and other school na tag-as og standard is dili siya for student nga may disabilities or kanang mga student having learning difficulties. Prefer nila or need nila na to isolate or learn alone or kanang mas maka-learn good sila kung sila lang isa. Also, dili lang dapat dapat makagain po sila of relationship or dapat sila makipag-socialize sa lain tao para makabuild sila friendship and relationship as a friend. So next is, and the school will provide an organized and proper implementation of the programs for those both regular and special learners. So naas lay karapatan nga moskwela Japan because we as a student we need to learn and interact to other people so that we will gain knowledge and ideas. Also, it is important na magipag-socialize sa laing tao because it helps sharpen memory and may even help you live longer. So, what are the benefits of special education? So first, children with disabilities achieve better results when they are educated in an inclusive environment. So, meaning, mga bata daw na with or without disabilities kay makita or maka-achieve og better result pag educated sila in an inclusive environment or in an environment where they are welcome and being treated fairly. So, as a teacher, we need to treat the student fairly. So, we need to make bias, and also we need to take care, guide, and support our student. So, next, they can learn at their own pace with their peers. At the same time, stage as themselves, and they respond well to higher expectation placed on them in an mainstream learning environment. And next is they will better learn to overcome the challenges their disability can bring because they will be supported and participate fully in activities alongside able-bodied children. So meaning ma-overcome nila or ma-achieve nila tanan challenges since supported man sila kaawang nila ang mga normal kids like us.
Good day everyone, I am Venica Misiugana and today we will be discussing about diversity of learners. Okay, so let me present to you my presentation. So, diversity of learners. So, here's the objectives for today's topic. So, first is describe the various issues related to diversity of learners. And the second one is utilize variety of classroom instructional strategies to address the need of the diverse learners in the classroom. So, diversity according to the dictionary, showing a great variety or great deal of variety or very different. So, in Tagalog, diversity means pagkakaiba-iba. So, here's Loden's diversity wheel. Okay, if you can see in the illustration. So, Loden's first piece of advice to people using the model is to open up the diversity conversation so that everyone at the table can identify with some dimensions. So, the goal for an organization is to create an environment where, regardless of one's diversity profile, everyone feels welcome and where everyone's skills are leveraged or appreciated. So what's in the Loden's diversity wheel? So the diversity wheel is useful in explaining how group-based differences contribute to individuals' identities. So if you can see now in the illustration, there are 4 layers. So personality is the inner layer. You can see the inner layer is the personality. So second circle is the internal dimension, and the third circle is the external dimension, and the outermost layer is the organizational dimension. Okay, so let's explain it further. So there are 4 layers of diversity according to Garden Swartz and Rowe 2003. Okay, so first layer is the personality, so the innermost layer. Okay, you can still remember the illustration. So the dimension at the center of the model encompasses all aspects of a person that can be described as personal style. So also the personality is how we think and communicate. So this also includes likes and dislikes of an individual. So that is the personality, the first layer or the innermost circle. So the second layer is the internal dimension. So this is the second circle. So the internal dimension or the core dimension are understood to be relatively unalterable by the individual and are also acknowledged in the relevant equal opportunities legislation. So in the internal dimension includes, remember this: age, gender, sexual orientation, physical ability, ethnicity, race, and social origin. So the internal dimension are largely out of our control. But have a powerful impact on behaviors and attitudes. Okay, the third one is external dimensions. This is the third circle in the illustration. If you can see, the external dimensions are distinguished by their variability. So, external dimensions are largely within our control and our choices, formed by environmental, social, and cultural factors and experiences. This includes factors such as income, personal and recreational habits, religion, education, work experience, appearance, marital status, and geographic location. Okay? So the fourth layer or the outermost circle is the organizational dimension. So determined by the type of affiliation with an institution or organization. Or let's say these are largely defined and influenced by the group or organization in which we work. So it includes, the organizational dimension includes functional level or classification, work content or field, faculty, seniority and duration of study, work location, study location, research content or type of employment. So again, diversity is useful. Why? Because it is useful in explaining how group-based differences contribute to individual identities. Okay? We're done with diversity wheel. So let's proceed. So we have this primary and secondary characteristic of diversity. So when we say primary characteristic of diversity, these are the age, race, gender, ethnicity, mental and physical abilities, and sexual orientation. So this is the most visible one, or the core. Okay, the primary characteristic are the core. The core because they exert an important impact on early socialization and a powerful sustained impact through every state of life. Okay, that is the primary characteristic. And the secondary characteristic is the dimensions contain an element of control or choice. Control or choice such as nationality, education, income, religion, work experience, language, skills, geographic location, family status, communication style, military experience, learning style, economic background, and work style. Okay, so let's proceed. Loden 1991 mentioned that in order to understand better these dimensions, an individual must have respect, inclusion, cooperation, and responsibility. And I truly believe in that. That is very true. So we need to understand the different perspectives of individual, even if they belong in the same race, gender, and more. Again, even if we belong in the same race, gender, so on and so forth, it doesn't mean that we're similar to others. We still have different perspectives that need to be respected. So again, respect, inclusion, cooperation, and responsibility is a must. Okay, let's proceed. Ability and disability as dimension of diversity. So when we say people with special needs, it is common that they are treated differently. Am I right? Okay, so the concept of diversity encompasses acceptance, collaboration, and respect. So we need to respect or accept, collaborate, respect them. No? It doesn't mean that they are disabled. They can't do and use what capabilities they have, but they are more than what we are expected. This can be understood that each individual is unique, and recognizing our individual differences. So it is the exploration of these differences in a safe, positive, and nurturing environment. So it is about understanding each other and moving beyond simple tolerance to embracing and celebrating the rich dimensions of diversity contained within each individual. Okay, so always remember that each of us are individual. Each of us are unique. Okay, each of us are unique. So here are some factors that help to perpetuate the high unemployment rates of a persons with disabilities from culturally diverse background. Okay, or let's say there has been limited attention given to people with disabilities as the world's largest minority group. Okay, so the first one is people with disabilities from culturally diverse backgrounds experience twice discrimination, okay, experienced by non-disabled people in the minority community. So both disability and race complicate the situation. Okay, the second one is there is disparity in rehabilitation services provided to minority persons with disabilities. Aside from public health issues, the most racial ethnic minorities face minorities with disabilities experiences additional disparities in health, prejudice, discrimination, economic barriers. In effect, they face a double burden. So 3, educational opportunities are less available and affordable individuals with disabilities from culturally diverse backgrounds. The fourth one is inadequate transportation and housing. In disadvantaged communities, intensify the employment barriers for minority people with disabilities. So there is a lack of mentors and role models. Mainstream job coaching and mentoring, on-the-job training, and internships are often not readily available. Both mainstream and minority communities and religious organizations tend to overlook their capability to support the employment of minority individuals with disabilities. And the last one is cultural differences. So, cultural differences are not clearly understood by individuals. Okay, so let's proceed to teaching strategies and tools for diverse learners. Okay, so it is very important that teachers should be aware of the different strategies to be utilized for diverse learners. So the first one is teachers have a clear sense of their own ethnic and cultural identities. Of course, teacher must be aware of their own ethnic. And the second one is teachers communicate high expectations for the success of all students, and of course believe that all students can succeed. And the third one, aside from the students, the teacher must also have believed that they are capable of making difference in their students' learning. The fourth one is the teachers have developed a bond with their students and seeing their students as the other. The fifth, schools provide academically challenging curriculum that includes attention to the development of a higher level cognitive skills. Okay, so the sixth one is instruction focuses on students' creation of meaning about content in an interactive and collaborative learning environment. The seventh one, teachers help students see learning tasks as meaningful one. 8. Curricula include the contributions and perspectives of the different ethno-cultural groups that compose the society. Okay? And teacher provide a scaffolding. Okay, scaffolding. If you can still remember, scaffolding according to Vygotsky's theory is the term for appropriate assistance given the teacher to assist the learner to accomplish a task. Then, teacher explicitly teach students the culture of the school. Okay, ethnocultural pride and identity. So when we say ethnocultural, relating to or denoting a particular ethnic group. Okay, the 11th, community members and parents or guardians are encouraged to become involved in the students' education. And the last one, teachers are involved in political struggles outside the classroom that are aimed at achieving a more just and humane society. There are some strategies. So first one is cooperative or collaborative learning, capitalize on the funds of knowledge in families and the community, instructional dialogues, conversation, cognitively guided instruction, and technology enriched instruction or computer-based learning. So again, learning diversity refers to the infinite variety of life experiences and attributes a child brings to their formal learning at school. All students with diverse learning needs have a right to access a full and engaging education on the same basis as their peers. So I hope you learn a lot. Okay, thank you and keep safe.